Welcome to episode 11 of Cougs on Cougs. I'm Jess. This is Mary.
Hi.
Big week this week.
Big week.
We've got our basketball team in New York City,
Yes.
which is really cool for the NIT Final Four, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes,
you have
and
a quote?
some people thought that it wasn't super probable we were going to get there because our King Collinsworth was battling the flu.
Yeah.
So our quote kind of centers around that. It's from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Laker great. It says, "One man can be a crucial ingredient on a team, but one man cannot make a team." And we truly saw that in action this past week, didn't we?
Yeah, it's true. We were maybe a little bit worried about Kyle not playing. And, I mean, I think we all thought Kyle would play, and he did.
Yeah, he did. And he had 10 points. He did fine.
Yeah.
But he wasn't in his usual role. And I think he is a crucial ingredient on our team, but he didn't.
And we showed that we can win without him at 100%, which I think should give our guys a lot of confidence going into the semifinal
tonight's
tomorrow.
game.
Tonight.
Yep. Okay, let's go into talk of the town. Speaking of Kyle Collinsworth.
Speaking of Kyle, so he was pretty sick, but he posted on Instagram this week. This was after the game against Creighton.
Yeah.
And he says, "If Parker can battle cancer every day, I knew I could battle through this game. Parker, you're an inspiration to me. Keep fighting, buddy." It's a picture with him and a little boy named Parker.
Really sweet. And I liked how he was humble enough to realize, yeah, I'm going through a hard thing, but people go through harder things than him. Yeah. So that's good motivation. Sticking with Kyle Collinsworth again. Him and Chase have their whole dragon thing.
It's really become a thing.
It's become a thing. It's very widely known. So Elijah Bryant, tweeted, and when was this? It was just earlier this week.
The day after the game.
He said, in the Dragon's Lair, hibernating, and he tagged Kyle. And Kyle tweeted back and said, "I'm still in my lair," with the dragon emoji. And Brig responded and said, "Hibernation." So me and Jess were talking about that. We're not really exactly sure what happened. Was Eli with him?
Do we have that tweet where Kyle said right after the game that if anybody needs him, he would be in his lair hibernating?
We'll put that up. But
that's how that started.
I guess Eli just wanted in on the hibernating action. So
I think Brig got his wisdom teeth out this week too.
Yeah, maybe he was on lore tab. Anyway.
Could have been.
Okay, what else do we have?
So cool article this week about Zach Celius.
Mm-hmm.
His grandfather played in the NIT championship back in 1947 for Utah in New York City, and now Zach has a chance to do that. And his grandfather was also a freshman and played right before he left on his mission, and the same for Zach. So
history repeating
similarity
itself
there. So hopefully Zach can help us win that championship this week, too.
Yes, and sticking with Nick and Zach, they had quite the interesting Twitter exchange. These boys must have been bored this weekend. They were all on Twitter a lot, but I'm
just glad they're still, having fun.
They are
enjoying each other.
Having fun. So Nick sent out a tweet. He did a poll between who wears the sleeves better between him and Kyle, since Kyle wore the sleeves on Tuesday. I didn't see who won that poll. I voted for Nick.
Nick was leading pretty heavily.
But it was his own poll, so it's probably pretty biased.
Why did you vote for Nick, though?
Because I like to see Kyle's arms.
Yeah.
Nick can cover
without
his arms
up. Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, the main point that Nick tweeted out, he said, "On a side note, after that poll, if this gets 200 retweets, I'll wear my shorts like my bro, Air Lars won Tuesday against Valpo," with one of those toothy little grin thingies. And he tagged The Rock, he tagged the Zach Shorts account, so it kind of seems like he wanted to wear the short shorts, doesn't it?
I think he really did want to.
He had to know 200 was a low threshold because we are currently at 410 retweets.
It's happening.
He's wearing the short shorts, and then Zach did another poll where he said that if it got 400 retweets, they would wear the long sleeves and the short shorts. So they might look like a bunch of idiots tomorrow night, but as long as they are playing well, they can look however they want. Okay, what else do we
I do think this trend is with the short shorts is catching on.
Oh, it is. Zach started it. Yeah. Props to him for that. Okay, what are the coaches up to?
Coach Lacombe and Coach Rose posted a picture of them at the Imagine Dragons concert this week.
They are concert hoppers. I've seen quite a few of them going around.
They like concerts. So good for them for getting out.
Having fun. And you said Bruce Springsteen was at the Garden. Well, today. Now it's tomorrow. Sorry. But maybe they went to that.
So maybe there's a picture out there.
Okay. Next, it was Pro Day as well as the spring game last week. So we had some football stuff going on. There was this picture, that BYU photo tweeted out of Mitch Matthews that is unbelievable.
It's unreal.
You can pretty much see every muscle in his body.
Yeah.
I tweeted at my husband, Jordan, who's a PE teacher. He has all these anatomy posters on the walls of his classroom. I said, just hang this up. You can show them each muscle. I didn't know
you
Mitch
can pick them all out.
I don't think Mitch was that ripped. I think he put in a lot of work before Pro Day, so good for him. Okay. Wedding segment. We only have one thing this week for weddings.
Yeah, and that would be our favorite couple. What's their couple name?
We've given them a couple name. Tan Lexa. They have rough names for a couple name, but yeah, Tanner posted it because he was sick. He said Alexa brought him soup and Gatorade, aka this was an excuse to post another engagement. So I think Nick posted one too. We'll try and put that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cute.
Finally, we're gonna do one last contest because it's the end of basketball season, and we have a signed picture of Dave Rose to give away.
End of basketball season.
I know, not yet. Okay, signed picture of Dave Rose. You know you want it. So, Jess, the rules, as always, are like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, but what's the creative portion this time?
There's a picture that came, I think, today from New York City with Chase and Jimmer. And they're like, Jimmer's like going like this. You'll see the picture, and Chase is
like he just said the funniest thing.
Yeah, which
is
who knew from Jimmer.
Well, we didn't.
So we want to do a caption contest. So send us your best captions for this, and we'll pick one. The winner will get that signed picture of Dave Rose.
Yep, and just get it to us by like 5 on Monday. We'll put up an example from Robbie. He had quite the funny caption. He said that Jimmer was saying, we're going to have 5 top 100 recruits, and they maintain the series is canceled for, quote, safety reasons, which would be a hilarious thing to say. So anyway, get those to us.
So, yep, you could win. We have a special guest with us now. Coach Sitake is joining us, and she is at Sweetie_Sitake on Twitter. If you don't follow her, you need to. You need to. So do it right now.
Twitter all-star.
So thank you for joining us.
Yes, she is the little sister of our new coach, Kalani Sitake, and she is a huge football fan. So when we were thinking about who we wanted to come recap the game with us, we thought of Sweetie. So make sure to give her a follow. So speaking of, so we said you're his little sister. Tell us about the birth order in your family, where you fall, where Kalani falls.
My mom and dad had 4 children, so Kalani's the oldest. I'm second. We have a sister named Pam Rose, who's after me. And then TJ is the baby of the 4. But we also have a little brother, Leroy Tanoai, who's on the team. He's number 57. Cool. And so it's a big family tree.
Family affair.
We have a huge family tree. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get right into the spring game. So it was so fun to be there, and Cougar Nation really showed up. There were lines in front of the doors an hour before the game started, and I think the official attendance was 18,001.
I saw that.
For a spring game?
It's a lot. I've been going to the spring games ever since I can remember, even when I was in high school, and I don't remember ever seeing that many people.
Yeah.
It was really exciting to be a part of. I drove up with my nephew and my son. He had planned to go to a tailgate that one of my Twitter friends was throwing.
There.
Really?
Yes.
And I didn't expect for there to be traffic coming from Salt Lake to the stadium. And as soon as we got off University Avenue, because I live in Draper, it took a good 30 minutes to get to Lavelle Edwards.
All 18,000 of those people trying to get there. And I saw that in some of the articles, Kalani was saying that just the simulated atmosphere was one of, I think, the best things that they got out of the spring game was having so many fans in the stadium.
Yeah, it's so great to see the support. Like you don't just see it visually like you did on Saturday with the 18,001, you said, but like you feel it too. At least I know I do. Yeah. And so it's just it's a fun environment. I'm really excited for September, but it's just fun to just go along with the ride, for now. It's just awesome. The fans are so awesome.
We're excited.
Yeah. So X's and O's. What stood out to you? We have some of the stats here. It was white against blue, and I think white ended up winning 30-12. But, I mean, your main takeaways were just, we got to see Tanner play. We saw some good receiver play. We got to see Bo Hodge actually went 6 for 7 and threw for 139 yards, which is
Which is
not terrible. We saw some play from tight ends, which is new for us. And what stood out to you?
Everything that you mentioned, I noticed. Sitting in the stands, and mind you, we come from a really big family. So, like, I would watch a play or two, and then I'd have to catch up with a family member I haven't seen for a while. But what I did see were everything that you mentioned. I noticed a lot of deep passes that connected.
Yeah.
You know, I heard the last name Mounga mentioned a lot. I know that I felt like I wanted to see Hill, but I mean, it's understandable why he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, you know, prayer and love to his family. But
Absolutely.
I am actually, when it comes to the X's and O's, I'm more of I don't really watch and analyze. I don't have the eyes that my dad and my brothers, especially Kalani, has. I'm just there to kind of be some and cheer for the team. It was awesome. I'm excited for September. That game was a tease. Like, I want September to hurry along.
Yeah, can you imagine what it'll be like for an actual game?
I know. If that many fans showed up for just a scrimmage,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great thing about the spring game is you can come and relax and just sort of get a glimpse. You don't have to pay super close attention.
No, BYU's gonna win either way.
Yeah.
So
right.
But it was promising. One of my favorite quotes from Kalani from early in the week, he said it was going to be boring but exciting. And I think that was a really accurate summation. Like,
I didn't feel it was that boring.
I mean, it was boring in that we weren't seeing full-on schemes and we weren't seeing, a super competitive game. But it was exciting in that we got to see, I mean, Tanner had 92 yards and help me, what's Moroni's last name? Do you know Moroni's last name, sweetie? I can't say it.
Is it Pututau?
Yes. He had a great game.
It's hyphened, right? His name was awesome. Yeah. And whoever the announcer is, he's doing a great job. Yes.
That does make it more fun, doesn't it? Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of that Tanner to Moroni.
That's kind of the spring game. What else did we wanted to ask you a couple of other non-football things. Well, less about the game.
So we're wondering if you have any favorites. We imagine you've hung around with Kalani a little bit, with Coach Sitake, and seen some of the players. Do you have any favorites?
I have been to the office. He has an open door policy over there, and I've been there about 3 or 4 times, and each time I've been there, I've been able to meet a bunch of awesome kids. I've actually met tons and tons of people. I'm always meeting a new coach or, a staff member that wasn't there the week or the time before. I love all of the players. It's kind of like, you can't say, who your favorite kid is, but I am partial to one, and that's Leroy, and that's probably because he's my little brother.
Yes.
So what does he play?
You get a pass. He's offensive line.
Offensive line. During the scrimmage, he was playing, I believe it was right guard. But I'm just excited to see all of them get out there and do their thing, I have to say they're all my favorites for now.
There are a lot of fun personalities on there. It's hard to choose. The only other thing that we wanted to ask you was, you had mentioned that you and Kalani have a really great close relationship. So we wanted to ask you, from your perspective, if you could pick one thing that he's going to bring to our football team that we've never had before, what would it be?
Kalani is a really good coach. He's good at his job. He's good at what he does, but he's an awesome brother. And he's as close with me as he is with my other siblings. But, like, what you guys are seeing on a larger BYU family scale is what he's always done, like, within our own family unit. He's all about, the unit being very strong, everyone having an open communication, not being too much of a spotlight, and sharing in each other's, joys and stuff like that. So I think you're going to fun he's going to have, not just as a BYU coach, but as a BYU fan. Like, he's a fan of BYU. And it's not just football, it's just all things BYU. We grew up in Provo. Provo is home base. We moved to like different parts of Utah, and Pop's always stayed right there. So it's always been home base, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with him being a fan of BYU because he was a fan long before he was a player and a coach. And I think a lot of people are going to have fun kind of getting on that level with him.
Yeah, like sitting in the rock. That's been so fun to have him be
already
doing that.
seen it.
And I think
that's how he is in our, like, you should see him at the family function. Sitake's like to dance. We are dancers. And so the whole entire family gets all into it, and they show their support and appreciation that way. It's a given that he's going to do that, at a basketball game. That's another sport he loves too.
Will he do it on the field after a football win?
Touchdown dance.
I'm sure he will during some really awesome plays. But after the game, he has to kind of check himself and remember he's a coach before he goes and says good job to the other coaches.
Hopefully we'll get some locker room videos.
Yes, we expect them.
That'll be fun.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Coaching from the couch this week, we're talking about the Creighton game, which seems like a long time ago because it was a week ago.
1 week ago, yeah.
But that win got us to the Final Four.
Yes.
So we have a special guest on here, and this is my dad, Len Schroth. He's here from Boise and actually filling in with us because my sister's getting her mission call tonight, so they're here for that. So we're doing that a little bit later.
Coach Schroth.
So Coach Schroth is here. I learned from him. He used to coach me, so it's good to have him here.
Yes, welcome. So we're going to start with what went wrong, switch it up a little bit, and focus a little bit more on what went right. There were very few things that went wrong. The only thing we could really notice, we had 15 assists, which is still, it was plenty to win the game. But the Cougs on Cougs magic number is 18. So we had just a few short of that. We think that maybe contributing factor was that Kyle Collinsworth had limited minutes because of his sickness, so he only had 4 assists, so that was probably why we had fewer. I mean, only 4. 4 is great. But
the shooting was pretty good. So.
Yeah, so very small thing that went wrong. Coach Schroth had something.
Yeah, it's hard to pick out things that go wrong at the end of the game when you win the game. So, but one thing I've noticed a few times this season, and it happened a little bit towards the end of this, is when the other team starts pressing, they're trying to get back in the game, they're going to foul you. They should have Kyle Collinsworth taking the ball out of bounds and throwing it into one of the guys who are the best free throw shooters.
Chase or Nick.
You got Chase, you got Nick, you even got Zach, I think. So rather than have them throw it into Kyle, who then gets fouled, he's not quite as good of a free throw shooter. Plus, he wasn't feeling that good. So
yeah, I think he was 2 for 6. So he doesn't shoot well free throw at the line on a good night, let alone a bad night. So
luckily, it didn't hurt us.
Let's move on to what went right. Let's talk about our friend Zach Sellius. How about that game from him, huh?
How about the season from him?
Yes.
But especially this game.
Yeah. He got thrown into that starting spot, started at point guard, and he thrived. He was 5 for 6 from 3-pointers.
Yeah, no pressure, Zach. If we don't win this game, it's another loss for the seniors in the Marriott Center, and you don't go to New York City and whatever.
We ran a poll from our Cougs on Cougs account, and we got a lot of votes in it, almost 100. And Zach Sellius got 80% of the votes for the MVP, and rightly so. So he got 19 points. He was huge. So
I voted for Zach.
Did you?
I voted for Kyle Davis.
That's funny. I voted for Zach too. But Kyle Davis was in second place. I mean, he only got 10%, but I think it's right that he was in second place because he had a great game. Coach Schroth was going to talk about Kyle's night.
Yeah, Kyle actually did a great job. He was very aggressive all night. Seemed to kind of get his rhythm going as he got comfortable in the game. Started off early and just played hard all night. It was really good to see.
He did. He had 18 points.
18
so
points,
7 of 9, shot 78%. So
that's the best I've seen him play all season. I have no complaints.
And 4 of 6 from free throws, so
which is great.
Can't complain there either.
Okay, Jess, what else do we have? Coach Tyler, that went right.
So free throw shooting all around was pretty good. We mentioned that Kyle Collinsworth missed a few at the end.
We're not counting him for that game.
Not counting him. Overall, the team was 22 of 29 and actually made more than Creighton took.
Yeah.
So we were 76%.
76%.
And it helped. We needed. I mean, late in the game, we almost maybe gave it away a little bit. They made a run at the end and had to bring Kyle Collinsworth back in off the bench, but we were able to put it away and pull it out.
Right, and free throws help there. There were just 2 other small things we wanted to mention. Foul trouble. No one had more than 4, which was nice, especially after Nick had been having some problems fouling out. And 4 out of 5 of our starters were in double digits. And Kyle Collinsworth in his flu game got into double digits too. So
if he would have played the whole 40 minutes, might have had a triple-double.
He was on track.
So we'll take that. Good team ball.
Yeah, and it was good for the seniors to have a win for their actual last game in the Marriott Center.
Yeah, that would have been very sad if we would have not won that. Yeah. But we didn't, so yay!
And atmosphere again was amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
So fun.
And
almost a sellout.
Get good result tonight at MSG. Okay, so that is our show for today. Quick look at what's next. Tonight, we are playing Valparaiso in the Final Four. They're widely known as Valpo. I knew nothing about them, so just really brief overview. Their mascot is the Crusaders. They are a private Lutheran school located in Valparaiso, Indiana. Imagine that. They are the regular season champs of the Horizon League, so they won outright, but they didn't get the auto bid. I think Green Bay was the one to get the auto bid in their league. The record is 29-6, so that's a lot of wins. Good. They are the 1 seed, so we are the underdog in this game.
The only other thing I know about them is that they were the other finalists for Chase Fisher, but we got them instead.
Yes. So. Okay, so when's our game?
Our game we play tonight, 5 p.m. on ESPN, and then George Washington and San Diego State are on the other side of the bracket. They play after our game.
Yeah, so tune in and catch both of those tonight.
Hopefully we'll play the winner on Thursday for the championship. So I'm sure they're having fun in New York City, but hopefully they get down to business tonight.
Yes, as for our sponsors, this week's show was brought to you by the BYU Ballers. We wanted to give you a shout out and say congrats on a great season.
And then also the kids who dress up as Mormon missionaries in the show. Stay classy, San Diego. Maybe we'll see you on Thursday.
May you always stay loyal to the white and blue. For Jess, I'm Mary. We'll see you next week.